Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today and tonight. I'm so excited to talk about this topic, and I hope you've all got your bottles ready. I've got bottles, crystals, I've got some potions, I've got some herbs, I've got some salt. Let me I'm going to grab one more ingredient that I've forgotten. If you've got salt, go and grab some salt as well. Okay, so I'm back. All right, so let me know if you've got your bottles and you're ready. And thank you, Tim, for the reminder. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, this is going to be a really fun show. A lot of hands-on stuff here. Oh, it sounds like you guys have got some interesting weather. I'm glad it's sunny. Hey, Amy Rose. Hope you're excited to make a witch's bottle. So let me pop up some things to share before we get started. So I just wanted to remind you guys that potions are better than a tea. So yeah, I think that's a really good statement. Why drink tea when you can have a potion? And I just want to remind you where to get your potions. So we will be using the potions in these little witches jars or spell jars today. I'm going to be making 3 examples. I'm going to be making an abundance one, a protection one, and a love spell jar as well. So stay tuned. If that's one of your things that you want to work with, please remember to hit that thumbs up as well, just to get that algorithm boosted, because then I can bring you more fun hands-on content like this. So I was looking for a little bit of inspiration, and you can see here, if you go on Pinterest, there's a few here showing you what you can put in. Salt seems to be the standard, usually as a base level from what I've found. Then putting in like your herbs, you can put crystals and spices and different things in there. But there's so many different types and there's so much information out there. But I just think sometimes that can be overwhelming. And so I think it's really good for us to make our own and to be a bit more hands-on with this. There is also, if you've got candles with you today, and you might want to screenshot this. I know Tim is amazing at screenshotting and sharing. So thank you, Tim, for doing things like that. I really appreciate you. But we can see here the different candles and what they're used for. So white being for spirituality, peace, higher self, and purity. Oh, and this was from Wicca Academy. So I think I found this just on Google search. Yeah, black, banishing, protection, binding, red, energy, strength, courage, action. You can use that for a bit of a spice up in romance as well. That is a good one. You don't want to make it too intense, though, or too fiery, I should say. So yeah, you can see here that it's just got each color. So I've got 3 different color candles to work with today. Let me just find my other little baby candle. There it is. So first, I think, let me just read through my little notes that we've got too. All right, and we've got Becca and Emma here, Rainbow Sun, and we've got Megan as well. Thank you for joining us, guys. And I'm just looking for my other window. Here we go. So with the witches bottles as well, they're also called spell bottles, but traditionally witches bottles. And there's a few cute stories out there of in the old English houses, they would actually find small bottles that had these little things in it, and they were stuffed up inside the chimney. So they would usually be hidden in the house, depending on what they were used for. A lot of them you can actually put like a little hook on it and hook it outside the house if it's to protect the house, or put it inside a cupboard hidden away, hooked. But yeah, I do love them for traveling with me. I actually have this cute little one that I wanted to share with you. This was actually a handmade one by a local person. And you can see here, it's actually got mini tarot cards. Isn't that cute? And they've got my favorite color on there, magenta. So you can see here, there's a little crystal. There is a little love heart, which, oh, where are we? It says witch. And there's a cute little cauldron and a witch's broom. So I just thought that was such a cute little witch's bottle, but it's also a little reminder, or kind of like a talisman or a charm, to really like anchor what it is that I do for work, what it is that I do, in the day-to-day. It's an embodiment, essentially. So this is what I want you guys to think of when you're making your bottle as well. Thank you, John. Yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. And then it turned out on sale too. So good manifesting. But yeah, that I've had for a little while. I love it. It's so cute. But you guys can make ones like this too. So it's just to kind of show you, you don't have to make a stock standard side of things. So if you're listening to this, what you might need for today is if you've got some candles or some crystals, and you can always rewatch this again later and grab your ingredients. Also, the paper that we're going to be using to write on today. Remember, I've showed you in a few manifestation things how I always tear off all of the corners. Now, this is because when we're working with sending our wish out there into the quantum or out into the universe, we never want a sharp, straight edge, because this is Saturn's energy. And we know Saturn rules limitation, restriction, and control. So we want it to be more of an abundant release kind of Jupiter energy when we're manifesting and working. The other thing too is working with bay leaves. So you can actually write on a bay leaf to pop this into your spell jar today. Let me know in the chat below, what are you interested in making your spell jar? And I might start with the one that we see that more people have a need for. My other favorite way to use these spell jars, and I don't have one with me, but is wearing them on like little necklaces. So you can actually see this necklace is the Star Tarot card. Again, sort of like an embodiment of what I do, part of the magic. And as I was reflecting, thinking about this, oh, me too, isn't it the most fun? It's so magic. And then even burning them, seeing how fast they sizzle up, knowing how fast your wish is being released or what you don't need is being released. But yeah, going to bed last night was interesting because I was typing up my little piece or document that I've got on here, and I felt going to bed in this embodiment of a witchy energy. And I'm like, oh, wow, this feels so powerful. It feels so much fun. So that was interesting. And we can see Emma is doing abundance. So I've got a cute little jar that I'm going to be working with for abundance today too. And let me just pop them down. Yes, definitely. So you can use the Jupiter symbol. So remember, we've done shows talking about like magical sigils and creating or using like runes, how you can combine them together. So this is something you can do today. I want you to tap into like the deepest creative part. What the most important thing too is your intention. So this is what I want you to think about. So say, I think it was Emma, you were saying, yeah, Emma was talking about doing abundance. And let me know below, are you guys working on like abundance, or is it love, protection, intuition? Is it about calling your power back? Let me know what it is you're working with. And if you do have the potions, if you're not 100% sure, you can pick a potion to work with to make your spell jar. So with the abundance one, I guess we will start with that. So you want to get yourself a jar. So I've actually got this potion looking jar. It is a little bit bigger. Oh, I love that, Jody B. That is beautiful. And if you've got the Vision Quest tea, this would be a perfect little blend to pop in there, because some of the herbs and things that I've put in there resonate with the elementals and the fairy kingdoms and the veiled world. So we've got butterfly pea, which is a fairy flower, as is chamomile, lemon balm, passion flower, and lotus. So this would be a fantastic one to work with. So yeah, I highly recommend that. But let's get started making our first jar. I'm so excited. I got up really early because I was excited. Let me see. Oh, I love that, Amy. So Amy, I've channeled my own galactic sigils from higher self for the love potion today. Oh, that is perfect. I love that. And I think you've actually got the love potion, don't you? So you can work with your love potion if you've got that there, and you can add your own special touches too. So it doesn't need to be fancy, but yeah, set your intention. So let's start. And it's always easier, I think, when you're seeing someone else do it too. And I was looking for a few charms because I did used to make a lot of crystal jewelry. And I think my kids have maybe made some of their own, and I can't find where the charms have disappeared to. Oh, Emma said, I have some charms, repurposing a cauldron, a dolphin, and an anchor, and a piece of power shell. That is going to be beautiful. I love that. Really, really lovely. Okay, So the first thing that you need is some incense. So the one that I have here is dragon's blood. And you'll know that this is from watching my shows, this is one of the most highly cleansing. So if you've got your sage and you've got your jar, you can do this with me. So I'm just going to light this up. And also, just to let you know how I like to get ready before, if I'm really focused my intention on a ritual, I love to have a shower, wash my hair, do like a body scrub or face scrub, really kind of be like in this purified type mindset before doing it. All right, so we've got that one going. So what you want to do is take your jar and just hold that in there. I like to swirl it around. Whatever you feel more magical doing, that is the good thing to do. So we can see here that smoke is in there. I do like to also just cleanse the lid and around the outside of the jar. Oops. The top of it just flicked off. Let me light this again. I just banged it on the jar. So yeah, don't feel that you have to be perfect while doing this. Good example of that. So I also cleanse the outside of it, and I've usually already like cleansed myself too. So let me just pop that aside for now. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, and I've got a few different types of salt. So let's start with the abundance one, since Emma was saying that's what you wanted to make. So I'm just tipping some salt in here. And the other thing too is with the little witch's bottles, you don't want to pack too much stuff in there because you don't want the ingredients to be sort of too congested. Because think about it, it's the energy of what you're putting out into the world and into the quantum. So you want it to have movement, you want it to have room for the magic rather than having it all crammed and the ingredients sort of feeling a little bit stifled or stuck. So the next thing that we have on my little abundance thing, I actually have some yellow stones. So I've got some yellow quartz, and these are just leftover old beads. So I'm actually going to cut these, if I can find my scissors, and pop them in. So the good thing is with it being beads, I can actually pop it in like this, cut the end, and then slip out the piece of thread. So let's do this. And let me know what else you guys are putting in your ones too. I'd love to hear. Okay. Oh. Lost some. I'm sure Lyra's going to have fun chasing them around. All right, so I've got some of them in with the salt, as you can see. And the other thing too, when you're working with, let me just pop up this little, so what I've written like as a little guide or hint, if you're creating an abundance one, have a look into mint, orange, salt as well. You want to be looking into wax to seal this too. So we're going to be using gold candle wax to seal this one. The other thing too is for an abundance one, you might actually want to pop some money in or pop some coins in. For me, I'm actually going to pop a sprinkle of my abundance potion in here. I'm just grabbing another little bead. So let's pop this in the jar. And I couldn't get my other camera to work to show you guys, but see how we've got some potion in here, some salt, a crystal, and let me see. So it's anything that really represents abundance. So mint and orange. So in this potion, I've got orange segments, and I've also got apple. So we've got that sweetness, we've got mint, which is traditionally also used for abundance. So if you do have the abundance potion, it's actually perfect for it because I made the ingredients centered around the alchemy. But yeah, you can see here, we've got the crystals, we've got the potion. So what I need to do now is either take a bay leaf and write on there what it is that I'm making this jar for, or I need to write it on a little piece of paper. So I'm actually going to write this on a bay leaf because it is a bit more magic. And the other thing too, so red and green. So like in some of the Asian countries, you'll see that like red is used in terms of when money is given as a present. So you know how they have the red money packets for Chinese New Year. So that is something that you could do. Oh, here is a good one. I'm just looking for the perfect leaf. Okay. Oh, so yeah, you don't have to use the yellow crystal. You could use other things like citrine. I'm just looking around. Garnet. Remember we did the little money bowl crystal charging last week and we used garnet. So anything that represents abundance or working with finance and things like that, or attraction, are really good. You could even program a clear quartz if you don't have that. So what I'm going to do now is just take a little felt tip marker. I've got green, and I'm going to write on this money, which is the physical 3D thing, flow, which is the energy of how I want that currency to come in, and I'm going to write abundance. And hopefully you guys can read my writing. Money, flow, abundance. So I'm not sort of writing a sentence because I'm wanting to program out the core words. You can write a sentence. This is about making it your own. And then I'm going to write on the back the symbol for Jupiter, which is a little bit rickety because we're going over the ridges of that. And what I'm also doing, I forgot to say, you want to be putting your intention in each of these things. It is okay if you just want to do it like at the end. Let me make sure I've popped everything in there that I plan to. I'm just seeing if there's anything else around that I need to pop in here. No, I feel that's good. Oh, the other thing too is you really don't want to be using too much. So I sort of base it on around like 3 things, although I probably will add a charm to it later when I go out and pop the charm in. But yeah, then you just put your little lid on. You want to sit there, you want to put that intention. And I don't know if you guys got the little video that I put up the other day when I was walking, but I was talking about you don't want to focus this on outside of you. You want to focus this on your heart, generating this feeling within. So just having it just near your heart and just holding that feeling, that energy, and seeing beautiful visions and images and imagining that feeling of like celebrating and of seeing that come in. Now, if sometimes, because we can have subconscious blocks specifically around money and love, what you want to do is focus on like the wins that you've had in the past too, because then we can tap in and we're tapping into gratitude at the same time. And then what I would do, I'm not going to do this now because it's going to be pretty messy. I might do this in the kitchen later, but I've just got a gold candle and I would actually melt the gold candle, just part of it, just enough to sort of cover the top, because symbolically I'm sealing and I'm fusing these ingredients together. So the other thing too is you might want to pop this beautiful little abundance jar. And if you have made a smaller one that's to go as a charm on a necklace or like a key ring, like my little witch's one, you might want to place this in the abundance corner of your house. So remembering what Elena said, it's the back left corner of your house is where you want to put abundance. The other thing too is you want to give them a bit of a shake with some of them, depending on if you've got breakable crystals in it or not. But you can see here, it changes form and just sort of blends up. But what we're doing, it's the same as like using a radionics machine. We're kind of like imbuing or pounding that frequency. So we're charging it with that shake. So putting this in that corner, you also want to check on it from time to time, because these can also, oh, hey, Yolanta, lovely to have you here. So yeah, with this, you also want to make sure that you get the feel, especially those of you that work with like energy and you're empathic and you're sensitive as well. So yeah, what you'll do is you'll actually put the wax and melt it and seal it. So just to answer Rainbow Sun's question. So it's not that you can't later when it's finished and you've lost the energy charge. So right now, like after I shake it, I can definitely feel the energy expand and generate out a lot more compared to when I just had it sitting before. So definitely infusing your intention with that. You might like to say a little rhyme or a little bit of a witchy spell as well. I would have to look up, I think it is the back right hand of the house for your love corner. The other thing too is sometimes this will be the bathroom. Just modern day houses. So sometimes what you can do is put it on the right hand side of your altar. So for me, my sort of main part of the living house, I have this in here. Whereas if I look to the very back of the house, I've got a mud room. So I don't necessarily put an abundance altar in the mud room or in the room that's like, laundry and things like that. So you can also pop these on an altar. But yeah, I think it's the back right corner of the house for love and relationship energy. So good question. Let me know, anyone, if you have any other questions. So the next one that we'll be making, and Amy Rose, you wanted to make a love one. So look what I found through the week. I had a friend had made me a herbal mix and I'd finished it. And I had a little love heart jar left over from them. So with the love one, again, you want to put salt in for protection. First of all, we're going to cleanse it though. So getting your little dragon's blood, giving it a bit of a cleanse. Just feels more magic when I do it circularly. And I'm just again cleansing the lid. Okay. And for this, we're going to pour in the salt. And just use what you have on hand too. And then I'm going to place in, I've got a little rose quartz. So rose quartz is perfect to do with heart chakra, to do with love. Again, just infusing your intention into that. And I like to be in gratitude of it already happening. That's the way I work with my intention work, because it does internalize it and feels very, very different. And then I've got some rhodochrosite beads that I'm going to place in there. So let me just try and get these in the jar this time. All right. And with the rhodochrosite, what I love about it and why I didn't just use rose quartz, the rhodochrosite helps to also protect your heart, and it's good for heart healing. And I always find it's really good for throat chakra stuff and communicating and speaking up with love. So you really want to be thinking about the type of love. So intention is the utmost importance. So I always start with like 3 to 5 words for my intention. And I'm going to pop in a selenite love heart. Hopefully it fits. I didn't check this beforehand. And it does, luckily. So you can see here, I've got the selenite heart. And the selenite is to protect, because sometimes when we're making, love potions or we're opening up to love, you don't want to really receive like similar patterns that you've had thanks, Britt Marie. So you don't always want to receive like similar patterns that you've had. You want to make sure like your beautiful heart is protected. So yeah, I do like to add a few different things with that. And then we're going to sprinkle in. Oh, and the other thing is, with this crystal combination and the salt and that, you could easily make a Heal a Broken Heart potion jar. So if you've just had heartbreak or something like that, this is something you can do as like a bit of a self-care ritual, and just have it with you, whether it's like next to you while you're working, in your living room, next to your bed. Have it as like a little pet that you're taking around with you. And so now we're going to be using Love Potion. And this one we see here, I am magnetic. My heart is open to receiving love. So let me pop some of this in. And I love sprinkling it with my hands. Like the more magic that you feel making this. So I love just like sprinkling this in here. And I'm going to pop in some more. And I think I'm going to pop this one next to the bed. I think that'll be a beautiful place to work with it. So yeah, tap into your inner magic. Oh, and the ingredients in this one that you're working with. So I popped lavender in this because lavender traditionally is also used for love, as is the rose petals that I've got in here too. And cinnamon, perfect. I did have my little reminder, which is not so little, a giant thing of cinnamon. So thank you for reminding me. I do have cinnamon in this as well. So I've got rose hip, cinnamon, cardamom, and lavender. So it's like a really warm, stimulating, like a touch of kind of like lust, magnetic sexual chemistry is what you're also going to get from putting the cinnamon in. So if you do have the love potion, you don't have to put any extra in, but if you want to, that is also fun. Oh, lovely. They are so much fun. And not only that, they're really, really beautiful. I've put so much energy, love, attention, and thought into them as well. And let me see. You know what? I think it's a case of the heavier things tend to sift to the top. So I'm not sure how you could sort of stop the salt. You don't have to shake it though. I just like it because I feel that it multiplies the energy out homeopathically. It's like the stirring of the pot. And we will do a show on simmer pots, which is a really, really fun episode as well. So that will be a really great episode too. Thank you. And remember to drink these. Like if you're working with the spell jar, you know, you do make the energy, but then you can also really partake in it later after you've done your ritual, you know, sit back, infusing this energy and intention while you're having your potion, putting that into your little witch's jar too. So that is another way that you can also do that. So let me just check. So for love, rose, lavender, cinnamon, which is in my love potion. And what we want to do, I hopefully have got everything in there. And you want to be charging this up. So you can hear my crystals are not as happy, so I might give them a bit of a squish. But I'm going to hold this here and just feel that love already received. So my body remembers the feeling of what love has felt like. And I'm just tapping back into my heart chakra, feeling totally expanded and just feeling all those magical kind of chemistry type feelings that you feel with love. And then what I would do is take a medium tone candle. So not too light, because that's more friendship, more kind of like whether it's siblings or, you know, friends. This one is like a little bit of love and romance mixed into it because it's a deeper tone. Whereas if I was doing red, that's a real kind of like sexual energy one. So this is kind of a combination of both. That's why I always sort of go with a medium tone. Oh, and I forgot, there was one thing. We had to write down the words. So let us get, I've got a pencil for this one. Ooh, need another one. Hold on a second. So if we write love, let me see, gratitude. That's just what I'm feeling off the top of my head. Let me see. So my little key code word would be, I am in a loving, monogamous, soulmate, committed relationship. So I want to choose like the keywords out of that. So I would put soul mate. I want to put respect, because that's also important. So I've got love, respect, gratitude, because I think that's really important in relationships to have that gratitude for each other as well. What else would we put into this? Chemistry. I'm going to put sexual chemistry. So that's what mine looks like. And then on the back of it, I'm actually just going to do the symbol for Venus. So you can do like sigils. I know, Amy Rose, you were saying you channeled a sigil, which I think is perfect. The other cute little thing that you can do is you can roll this up like a little scroll. So even if someone sort of like sees it, they're not going to open your jar, especially if you've sealed it with wax, to read it. So don't feel that you have to, you know, fully hide them or anything like that. So that has just gone in, that little scroll. And I'm going to pop the lid on. And then that's when you would really hold it, infuse it, mount your little candle on the top. Now, remember, you don't have to mount the whole thing. Oh, I love that. Sublime. What a great word. Okay, so that is that one. Next, we're going to move on to my final little jar. So, oh, awesome. Please send that to your sister. This is such a fun thing too, and it's a nice way to kind of introduce to, you know, to something a bit different. So we're going to do a protection jar. So, oh, and with that other one, you can even put like a ring in here. You could put a love heart charm, whatever you're really feeling drawn to. So with this one for protection, we're just going to take this little incense stick again, and we're going to cleanse this. And I ideally recommend that you're only working with one intention at a time. I just really am doing this more to kind of show you guys how to do it, because I think it's just so much easier. Oh, awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And yeah, really infuse your energy into it, because that's what's going to make it magical. So for this one, I actually have witch's salt. So we're going to be using black salt. which smells like sulfur. So I'm just pouring that in here, and I might need to stir this up a little. And with this one, I feel like I want a lot of protection. So go with like, there's not a standard sort of measurement. So I'm just using, that feels good. I've just done about 1/3 of the jar, or maybe a little bit more with the black salt. And oh yeah, and you can make these for your friends too. So if you've got someone that you absolutely love and adore and you want to give them a bit of a boost with abundance, it's got even a lot of magic in it because you've put your intentions and your love for that other person in it too. So, you know, you can make them a protection jar. That's really, really sweet too. So what we've also got for this one, I wanted to use some amethyst because my intention with this and the vision that came to me with the amethyst too was that this is, you know, sometimes with protection, we might feel, but we don't always see things. And so I really wanted this intention of having that psychic protection and psychic insight around this as well. So I'm just going to pop these in here. Oh my gosh, it's coming off both ends. This is the joy of live, hey. So a bit harder to see with the salt, but you get my drift. The other thing too, and I only had a couple of these left, I have some lapis beads. And with this, I was feeling that this is also protecting, you know, your energy, your throat chakra. It's giving you insight and vision again. For some reason, Spirit kept telling me to use like crystals connected with vision in this particular spell jar. So again, go with your intuition. And the final one is rutilated quartz. So this is really good for psychic protection, energetic protection. And you can keep this at the front door of your house. Really, wherever you feel that you need it the most is a good place to have it. So I'm just popping these crystals in here. But yeah, you might want to meditate and channel a little bit of your alchemy energy first. Remember, I've got the alchemy meditation that you can do before this. That would be a perfect one. And yeah, I think they make the best Christmas gifts, especially if you know someone's like into the woo, they'll think this is really cool. And yeah, protection one I think is essential and is a must. So I've got the rutilated quartz, the lapis lazuli, the amethyst in here. And for this one, we're going to be putting in cleansing vibes. And my intention with this is you're wanting to have this to like cleanse away, even though black salt will be drawing energy. And I'll tell you what to do as well, like with after these. Oh, and I've got Heal a Broken Heart. I hadn't had it in a while and I felt like a bit of a rose chocolate energy today. And also I'm just like working on myself at the moment in terms of walking every day, sort of doing a little bit of calorie counting, things like that. And my best friend, John, who's on here, he's really great helping me with that. So you can see here, I've got this one, the cleansing vibes, and this one feels so nice on your fingers. So with this one, lemongrass, calendula, cornflower, and spearmint. So really lovely energies. And with the lemongrass, we know this is one of those ones that purifies energy too. So it's a really good one if you've got like a little mist. The other thing that I didn't write down was you can use essential oils in these to bring it together. So for the example, for the abundance one, you can use mint or orange oil in this. And that also will take to the salt really nicely. It's like a bath salt. With the love potion one, you can use rose or you can use jasmine or neroli would be another good one. With the protection one, you could do frankincense, myrrh, again, dragon's blood, if you did find like a pure extract. I don't know if they are. I think they might be purely fragrant. But anyway, something to look up another time. So then you want to pop the little protection in there. So again, I'm going to use a bay leaf because these are really, really good for protection. And I'll just check my list. Cloves are another one. So cloves are really, really good for protection. And let me just find the perfect leaf See, this is all about your intention. It's like you don't want to just put anything into it. You want it to be perfect. So, but don't overstress on that either. So I've just got a little bay leaf that I'm going to write this on. And I'm going to use the green felt tip because it's going to show up a bit brighter on here. And I'm going to write protection. And you might also want to draw a picture of an eye on the back because it's almost like a symbol, you know, of the evil eye. So we know that that's used for protection. That's actually the charms that I was looking at to go in here. So I've written protection, and I feel like there's another word missing. Let me just close my eyes and tune in. Strength. So I've just written that on the other end, and I'm going to pop this in my little jar too. Popping the lid back on. So you can use bigger jars than this. These were just the ones I had on hand. You don't need to go out and find anything fancy. And I'm just going to give that a shake and also feel into it and see my house, my family, myself being protected, see myself with like eyes in the back of my head being psychically aware, seeing my intuition being turned up, having like almost like what do you call it? Marvel superhero kind of gifts, sense and perception. But yeah, shaking that up. And I think I'm going to leave this maybe near the front door with this one. But before finishing it, seal it up with some black wax. So black's really good for protection. You can also use white. I do find that like with white light, it can attract things, just as you see like with, and you could do white with gold would be another way to do it. See what you've got, but black is a better one to use. So that is the spell jars. Let me see if there's anything else that I've written down. Oh, so the other thing I was looking for was like a little Hamza charm. So, you know, like the hand of protection, or you could do a pentagram, which is that star with the circle around it, whatever you're feeling. But essentially you're working with your incense that we had before, and you're also working with salt, herbs. You can put money into the abundance one if that's something. I ended up putting a $50 note into my money jar, or the money bowl that we made the other week. Oh, that is a good one. So I would do what I know with like selling houses and things like that, doing a cleanse on the house. Sometimes I've heard stories of people selling the house after not selling it for 6 months. My gorgeous auntie is one of those people. When she did like a cleanse on the house, I think they did like a pretty heavy duty one. It sold, I think it was the same day or next day. So that is a really good thing. But yeah, you could make a jar that feels like home. So whether, you know, cinnamon, because it's like love, it's warmth, that's the environment that you want to create. So rose, I would put in there too, a little bit similar to, but maybe you could put a bit of abundance into that potion. So you might want to combine a little bit of the abundance and the love potion for that one, for their home. But you want people to fall in love with their home. You want them to have a really good uplifting feeling, but you want them to have the abundance to also to buy things too. Thanks, John. Yeah, just want to thank everyone here for an amazing, creative and loving comments. Your unconditional love and energy keeps trolls away. So true. We're really, really blessed. And thank you, Britt Marie. All right. Let me just see. Oh, cool. Jody B said, I use white angelica essential oil on the rim of my jar as well. And how cool is that? You can just feel us all like working our little kitchen witch, green witch magic as well as we're doing this. And yeah, Becca's saying, I make spell jar kits for the crystal shop I work at. That's why you were saying you love your job. I'm like, oh, what did I miss? There must have been another comment. Yeah, so we'll make a few of those and put around the house. Yeah, so you can think about like all the different areas, but again, just sort of picking your day to set the intention. You don't want to make too many in a day. You can, but you want to concentrate the energy. So let me just see if there's anything else. Oh, the other thing too is you'll notice that after a while, the energy will become like a little bit more dull and a little bit more lifeless or stagnant. So this is when you want to refresh your jar. So you might be able to do that by holding it and charging it, putting some new crystals into it or essential oil again as well. But if you feel like your jar is done and dusted, now I've used dry herbs and spices and everything today too. So with this, my jars aren't going to go off. They're going to stay pretty fresh. But if you are using something like you're picking fresh rosemary or mint from the garden, rosemary is also one you could put in the protection. So that'd be great to go in the protection jar. Rosemary is really good for protection. Try and use dried if you can, just so you get the longevity out of it. But yeah, you can also use the salt will help preserve it a little bit, as well as some of the essential oils. Sometimes I will make little ones that are like cute and tiny with glycerine. So say, for example, if I had like a teeny tiny one, like the size of this little emergency rescue, or even like a little bit smaller, like the little ones, this size. So if I had a jar this size and I only had fresh herbs to work with, because again, you don't have to rush out and buy things. A lot of these things you'll have on hand. So you might want to put glycerine in it and put the fresh herb and infuse it that way. And they will keep and look well for years and years. But what you want to do essentially afterwards is once it's done or that spell's complete, you want to tip it out and give it back to Mother Nature. So you can wash out the jar, pick the wax off and reuse them. There's no reason that you have to bury the whole jar. But yeah, thanking Mother Nature as you're giving it back to the earth too. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this show on making witches bottles and spell jars. Let me know what potion you're going to work with, what spell jar you're going to work with as well. Oh, I love that, Emma. That's such a fun exercise to do together. Yeah, kids, they love making stuff like this. And if they're having, nightmares or bad dreams or anything like that, you can make them a spell jar for good dreams or sweet dreams. And if you have the Vision Quest potion, that is a great one to put in for sweet dreams. You can even put like little fairy charms and things like that in it for kids. Make it fun. So yeah, do you guys have any questions? Let me know. I will stay to answer if anyone's got any questions. And I think that's so true. John saying that, yeah, definitely. I think our soul tribe's been together in a few lifetimes. So we're really, really lucky, aren't we? And let me see. So I think I've covered everything. Let me just put up a little reminder for the candles so that you know what ones to use. Oh, awesome. You're going to do a prosperity jar. I love that. Let me close off this little window. Oh, my settings have opened. Okay. So yeah, have another look at this and just note what it is that you're working with. You can go back and screenshot this later, but I just want to share it with you another time. And remember, Pinterest has so many ideas. So Becca, the prosperity jar in this particular picture from Pinterest has cinnamon, clove, mint, chamomile, citrine, green aventurine, coins, and then sealing wax. So remembering gold or green or even red for prosperity and abundance. So yeah, really beautiful ones inside, and you'll find the herbs and things like so much fun. Essentially, I've packed as much punch as you can into the potions for the intention. So if you do have the potions, or if you want to buy the potions, they are on Soul Alchemy. So let me just jump onto the witchy one. So I am that witch. Also, if you're wanting to work with a potion for Halloween and you are in the Northern Hemisphere, it may take 2 or sometimes like 2.5, 3 weeks to get to you. So definitely order ahead of time. And you'll see here also right up on it and the beautiful reviews. I've got more information on how it takes 66 days to call something in or to manifest it. Not always, but scientifically, this is what we see in terms of the quantum. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me today. And I've had a lot of fun with you guys as well. And yeah, definitely make a protection jar for the place that you live in. You can also sprinkle black salt around the perimeter of your house as well. You can tie a little bundle of rosemary onto the front and the back entrances of your house too. And I'm so glad you found it interesting. Awesome. Yeah, I think I've included everything. Let me know, even if you want to come back to the comments after the show when you've made your potion jar. Let me know like what you've made, how it felt. Awesome. Rainbow Sun using tourmaline. I love that. Oh, that's so you, Rainbow Sun. That's beautiful. You guys are welcome. All right. Well, I will see you. Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have the shows coming up. So you'll see later tomorrow. It's going to be red pilling. Down the Rabbit Hole will be my show on Mesa on Jupiter for tomorrow. So we're going to go a little bit more into the hidden nature of the matrix side of things and really looking into what simulation are we looking into. I'm going to be heavily focused on cards for that show tomorrow. So we're going to be asking Spirit a lot of questions about this world, about this matrix that we live in. The other thing too that we're going to be doing is I'll have my mystical oracle show, which will be on Saturday. And then on the Monday, we're going to be doing the live questions and answers from the audience. So you guys ask me questions, I'm going to be doing the answers, and you're so welcome. Oh, so with the candle, and I do love to burn candles while I'm making these as well. But yeah, you really just want enough to kind of cover the top and to let it drip down the side. So you want it to look a little bit witchy, maybe down the sides of the bottle. So thank you for your question. All right, guys, I will see you just tomorrow. All right, love you all.